So let me get this straight. CPS can go after celebrities' children, but are they going after everybody else that have children as well, starting with the foster parents? They haven't even been keeping track of kids all this fucking time that the government was responsible for. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that shit. If a child was in foster care, if a child is placed in foster care in the United States, the government is responsible for that child and the placement of that child until that obligation and responsibility is relinquished, either by someone stepping up to take accountability for the child, or the child ages out of the system. They are responsible for the children. That means they're supposed to know where the kids are at all time. They're supposed to be tracking the children while the children are under the care of CPS. Excuse me. That also means after they're placed, because the government is responsible for the children that they place, even though the adoptive parents have to go through a process. They're supposed to go through a process and be vetted to be sure that these people have the discernment it takes to raise a child, where they are able to take responsibility and accountability as long as they're obligated to that child. That's supposed to be done before kids are placed with foster people. That has not been done. What the fuck? That has not been done. But now, y'all are just allowing people to just call up. Because it's crazy like how many people are now wanting to call up CPS. Not because they're looking for the children that are still fucking missing. Like, no, not because of that. They're trying to get celebrities in trouble. They're going after people with money. They're going to check up on the kids of celebrities. Not saying that shouldn't be done. But in my case, it was foster care. In this particular case, it's not. The children are not in foster care. But CPS is going to their house to investigate their children. So it's okay for CPS to go after people who have their own biological kids. All because somebody calls them up, and they're allowing anybody to call up and they have to investigate. But what about the kids who are already in CPS custody? This is backwards. I'm not saying that celebrities don't need to be investigated. Their allegations don't need to be investigated for whatever reason. If that is what you are required to do, because this is your job, okay, you got to follow up. I understand. But I don't understand the logic in spending the time and the man hours continuously investigating a person who is in the public eye and their children, and they have their children. They're not adopted kids. These are their kids that they had. So somebody can call, and it's real funny because I think there's some similarities going on here, but I can't discuss. But so you can call anytime you think there's abuse going on, whether or not you know the background of these people and their families and how they go on, or whatever the case. You don't know that, but you're going off of what you see. And if what you see is abuse or potential abuse, you can call. That is what CPS is saying. You can call. And they have to follow up if they call, talking about if the allegations are serious enough. On people who have their biological kids, celebrities that have their biological kids. And I'm not saying that they did or didn't do something, but it's very interesting that you can go and investigate and follow up on situations where parents that have their own biological kids may be abusing their children. You can definitely go make sure and follow up on that. But you can't make sure to follow up on the children that you are responsible for. The kids that were adopted, that are not with their biological parents. Why are we paying more attention to? I'm not saying this does not need I'm saying it needs discernment when it comes to celebrities. It does need discernment. Because if you keep getting these allegations time after time, if people know that they can just keep calling CPS and this person is a celebrity, what are you doing here? It's not the same situation as somebody who is coming up or is not as known, is not as public, do not have as big of a fan base where their brand could be affected. Okay, this is what we're talking about here. We're going into different territory. And not only that, the potential of losing their children to the system. So this is why this is not making sense. What about the investigative hours? What about the investigative hours that were supposed to have been done in regards to the foster children that were adopted by other families? Because according to the whistleblowers in Congress, there was no way of tracking these kids. And they made sure of that. They knew what they were doing, and I'm going to prove it because I'm on my way. Trust me, I'm on my way, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, I'm not telling y'all not to call. If that's what you feel you should do, because what you see suggests something. You're accountable for your own actions. That's your decision. But the same attention or more attention needs to be given to the people who are adopting children from CPS and are not being followed up on. The records are they don't exist, or they're lost, or whatever. How? When y'all track everything. How does that happen in the government when y'all track everything? Everything is a process. Everything requires an application, including the adoption process. So you're supposed to be accountable to that child while it's in the adoption agency. Even just because you and these individuals that adopt the child go into a contract, because that's what y'all do. You don't just hand the child over and there's nothing from that, because it's a lie. The government y'all get paid to foster children. Y'all are getting paid. You have people working for the agency. These people are getting paid to process children in this system. They were getting paid to do this. So if your job is to process, that's what you're doing, tracking, maintaining information about, that is what you were supposed to be doing when this child got in your custody for whatever reason. You were supposed to be doing that. How can records be missing Why would records be missing? Why, if this is a system of tracking, because it is with CPS, why were they not tracked? Why were they not tracked? They were required to follow up with those children. Did they do that? I know that they did, especially if they kept moving around from foster home to foster home. It's a reason for that. It's a reason for a child to continue to get moved from foster home to foster home. There are reasons for that. That shit is supposed to be tracked, because you are moving that child from one foster home and with one set of parents, or parent, or I believe it's parents, because they usually give them two parent homes or affiliations where there's a 2-parent home or whatever. But even so, even if it's just a single, whoever took accountability for that child, something happened where the child had to be moved before the age of 18. If they've been in multiple foster homes, something happened. So why would it not be tracked? Because like I said, everything in the government is a process. There's paperwork for everything. Somebody got to sign off on everything. So if you moving a child, that's got to be tracked. You know why? Because you getting funding for that shit. You getting funding for that shit. That means that the taxpayers are paying you to do this job. So this should have been a system of tracking from the get-go. And if tracking wasn't maintained, the question is why? Why are records lost? Why are records not there in the systems? Why are they not in the cabinets? Why? What is the method of tracking used? Why would children be missing from the system that is in charge of tracking them, following up on them, because they are being paid to do that? Where are the records? Why they don't have them? Why wouldn't they have them? These are the questions that we as taxpayers should have for people. Because I do. I'm coming for answers. I have a right to do that. You know why? Because I pay taxes too. And you've used my tax money for this so-called system of yours, of the nations, where our government has decided to foster children and apparently not track them once they're in the system. And I want to know why that is. Because everything in the government is tracked. I'm trying to tell you that. Everything in the government is tracked. Why would the kids, the human beings, the lives that we are giving over to these foster people not being followed up on? Why is it that they're moved from house to house to house to house? Why? Why would they be moved so much? Why is this a necessity that they're moved so much? It's a change. It's a change in circumstances from when these so-called foster people first contracted with the government to take the responsibility of the child, to the time the child is moved to another house. Something has happened. Where are the records for that? That should be public knowledge. And the reason why is because it doesn't have to be public knowledge to everybody, but what I am saying is it needs to be accessible. It should be tracked. That is what I'm telling you. This agency works for us. These people work for us. Why do you think that we're not able to question them on what they're doing when they're getting paid with taxpayers' money? Help me understand that. Why would you be afraid to ask these questions? Why would they feel like they're not obligated to turn over information to people directly involved with their process? Why wouldn't that be made public to them? It's their records. Why wouldn't they have records of this person in their system? Why would there be a reason this child can go missing and nobody knows? How is it that a child is in one foster home, gets pregnant at 14, knows who the father is, the father gets arrested, goes to jail, from my knowledge, but the father's name is not on the birth certificate, and then they split up the mother and the child? Why is that? How is it that the same 14-year-old that got pregnant also got pregnant again at 17? I mean, because I'm really confused. I'm really confused how this happened. Twice under CPS. Under CPS. She got pregnant twice. Under CPS. The second father was allowed to adopt or take in, not adopt, was allowed to take in his illegitimate child because he was married. So both times, these were grown ass fucking men. And all I want to say is sins of the father. So this is interesting to me. That now there is a celebrity that's going through a CPS situation because a fan, possibly somebody that watches her, may have called CPS on her and had her investigated. But all these victims and survivors out here are talking to you about CPS and how they were foster children themselves. And the abuse and shit that went on when they were in foster care. And nobody's calling CPS for them. Cardi B has her children. The children have their father and their mother. The ones that made them. You're investigating them. They have their own biological children. But this could be looked at as a threat. As if you could possibly take them. By telling them that anytime somebody calls, they have to follow up on it. If they think it's severe enough. The allegations. If they think the allegations are severe enough. That's what they say. What? But a child in the foster care system is not being followed up on. So y'all don't understand what I'm saying? What? It's some real fucking shit out here right now going on in Congress. In case y'all not aware, it's some real fucking shit going on out here. And CPS is directly involved. So I hope that you giving as much energy to that situation that makes us look like shit as a country. We're horrible fucking parents out here. Whether you want to hear it or not. We're horrible fucking parents out here. To all the fucking foster children that are missing right now. All the kids that are being trafficked. And nobody knows where they are. Why wouldn't CPS be the most fitting agency to move resources? Resources being children. Hello. Y'all must think survivors are weak. Y'all crazy. We survivors for a reason. Especially now. The ones of us that are grown in our 30s, 40s, 50s. If we out here talking and we got direct involvement in y'all's situation, I suggest y'all fucking listen. This is a situation where there is a direct link to us and the children that are missing right now. What? But y'all not talking about this. Y'all not keeping the focus where the focus really need to be. This is what wears survivors out. I'm not gonna lie. It wears us out. Trying to talk to the ignorant. And hoping that they see a speck of light. That this is not a fucking game about these children. All this information that came out about these children. And what the fuck is anybody doing any differently? The survivors out here and the survivors are going to fight, but some of the survivors are going through the shit with CPS. But sometimes when you directly involved, you're vulnerable on both sides for some reason. It's just it. I'm telling you, like I don't give a shit no more. Like I don't give a fuck. Like you can't approach me as a survivor. You cannot approach me if you ain't hell bent on where the fuck these kids are. You can't approach me at all. I ain't fucking with you. We can sit up here and tell y'all about what the fuck happened to us as children under this fucking system all goddamn day. And we could barely get heard. No one will do anything or be pressed to put our story out there. But as soon as CPS gets called on a celebrity, it's front page news. A celebrity that has her biological children and the biological father is with his children. You're pressed to get involved in that situation, but you're not going to get involved with the children that are direct responsibility for CPS, which is the foster children. The ones they're supposed to be taking care of and supporting and following up on. I'm not saying these other families don't need to be investigated, but you're not even doing your primary duty. Your primary duty as the tax-paying agency. You are. Y'all fall under policies and guidelines that y'all are supposed to go by, and Congress is well aware of this stuff. But now they're also well aware of how much you have not done to support that. When you got hundreds of thousands of kids missing. They fell under CPS. And to find out you were not vetting the foster parents like you were supposed to before giving over a human life to strangers. And if it was a situation where you looked the other way, you going down too. You going down too. No, hell no, you going down too. But how interesting is this? Ugh, I don't know, y'all. Y'all always treat me like I'm the damn black sheep anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and handle my damn title. I'm gonna put that shit out there. Y'all want to be hiding behind a fucking fairy tale and falsehood all the fuck you want, but I'm not the one. I'm not the one. I'm not the one. I suggest you not do it. Don't do it. Cause if you don't want me to come at you, you better not do it. Cause some shit need to be told out this bitch, and it don't make fucking sense around here. And CPS is directly in fucking involved, and that's just all it is to it. They involved. I want to know, why is it that we were moved from foster home to foster home? Why is it that I was alienated from my mother in foster care? Y'all separated us. How is it that a foster child was able to get pregnant? Or what was the situation surrounding the foster child getting pregnant at 14? What was the situation surrounding the foster child getting pregnant at 17? Where the foster child at 17 had a child by the pervert and then decided he was going to do the right thing and take in the illegitimate seed he made outside of his marriage, so that that seed wouldn't have to deal with the foster system. I mean, y'all take that how you want it. Meanwhile, the foster child that came about from the 14-year-old getting pregnant remained in the foster system, alienated from her mother, which means we were separated. And this went on between the age of infancy and 7. There better be records there, or you're going to have a real big problem. There better be records there, because to my understanding, the pervert that got the 14-year-old foster child pregnant went to jail. But the foster child that came about from the 14-year-old and the pervert never received any assistance after she was placed back in the care of her mother. Never received any assistance, even though the government knew he was in prison or he was in jail. They knew. There was a reason why the name of the pervert was not put on the birth certificate. And why was that? It wasn't because the mother didn't know who the father was. That's not the fucking reason. Because the mother knew, and the mother told people. She did. Yet the pervert's name was not on the birth certificate, but he went to jail. How the fuck did he get away with not having to pay child support? Ever. And the government knew who he was. And what he went to jail for. What did he go to jail for? I guess I'm going to find that out too. I can't believe what the fuck I heard though. And this is why you may hear in my videos, I may say things like, black people can't say shit to me. I'm still saying that shit. You can't say shit to me at all. Like, you can't say a motherfucking thing to me. Y'all perpetrate y'all own fucking communities. Y'all the reason the shit keeps going in fucking circles. Y'all the reason. You know why? Snitches get stitches. Don't tell your family's business. You didn't see what you saw. That's why they can't say shit to me. They all do that shit in the black community. They sure the fuck do. A lot of them do it. That's why so many kids grow up believing that they have to fear the truth. That's a fucking trauma. I feared the truth for so fucking long. My mouth was always shut. It was only gonna bring me pain. That shit continued throughout my life. It was a fucking mindset I had. It's a fucking mindset I had. Where I literally would have to, in order for me to survive, I would have to be quiet. That shit ain't no motherfucking joke. It's amazing how y'all can just sit there and laugh and talk and giggle with somebody and not know you dealing with a survivor. You dealing with a foster child. A traumatized child. You would never know. Not with me. That's what a survivor does. We learn how to survive. I learned how to survive. I'm just trying to tell y'all, I'm not the one. But I am going to be the one to get answers. I'm going to get answers. Because it's a whole piece of my past tied to my mother that has never been answered. And I already got a few of them answers already. And it makes me sick to my fucking stomach every time I think about it. That's why I'm like, the black community can't say shit to me. Keep your motherfucking stereotypes to yourself. Don't include me in that shit. We are not the same. That's how you treated me, right? When I was younger, we're not the same. I'm different from you. Treat me that way now. Because I damn sure am. Y'all always trying to keep something in the motherfucking community. In the fucking family. You made children afraid to tell the truth. You silenced them. Even before they could understand the value of silence. I don't live in no fucking fairy tale. Wasn't shit a happy ending about my upbringing. It's a lot of blacks that keep blacks suppressed. Intentionally. They know what they're doing. They be the first ones. Ain't nothing wrong with you. That don't hurt you. Quit telling so much. What's the message you sending? That's how you control black children. You kept them suppressed. You made them fear speaking. Fear telling their truth. You traumatized them so that they wouldn't go against you. You made them feel inferior or feel like something was wrong with them because nobody was supporting them. So the way they felt was, why say anything? They're not going to do anything anyway. That's suppressive energy. Don't include me in your black bullshit. I don't want to be included in that shit. Because it's a crock. If you really knew how many black people were involved in all of this shit, you'll reevaluate what you think you know. They expecting y'all to say stupid, ignorant ass shit like, oh, no, that ain't happening. You crazy. You just so dramatic. And y'all feed into it every time. That's why I was never meant to have that stability in the beginning of my life, be it as it may. Because I had to learn how to handle everything on my own. Everything. So much so that I don't need any fucking body. I don't need friends. I don't need family. I don't need anyone. I'd rather you want to support me than feel obligated to do it. But as far as these kids are concerned, this is something we need to do now. It's too much shit happening. And the real shit, the mainstream media is not talking about. They're not talking about the real shit that's happening. Do y'all know about the Obamas? Do y'all know what's circulating around about them right now? Y'all need to wake up. Stop all this stupid ass shit about false news and this side and that side. What the fuck? The hell, this ain't no goddamn football game. This side, that side. We all responsible for these children. We're paying the tax money for these agencies to track the children they are responsible and have been obligated to. And we ain't asking questions. You're going to leave it all up to the survivors and know that they're struggling because why? They're truth tellers. They out here telling truths. And what the hell? Y'all don't know what a spiritual war is, do you? You have no idea what it is. You need to wake up. Please. The Divine's warriors are met with all kind of shit. And if you can't face that, you're not one of us. So you need to move to the side. That's how I feel, because you in the way. People really trying to get some shit done. People really do want fucking answers out here. Would you want your children missing? Would you want your pets missing like this? If you knew hundreds of thousands of your pets were missing, nobody knew where they were, but they were charged with their care, charged with their tracking, their processing, but they don't know where they are. And the records are scarce, so they're barely there. They're lost. They're making it hard for them to be turned over. Why? Why are they doing this? Can't you see that's bringing friction to the situation? Why would they be bringing friction to the situation? That's when you need to start asking questions if that's happening. What about these Amber Alerts? Anybody following up on whether or not these kids are being found? These Amber Alerts, these newspaper articles with missing kids, these milk cartons, all this shit. Years worth. I got a journey ahead of me, okay? I'm gonna do my best to make logs of things that happen. But this is what I got going on. This is my involvement right now with these children. Because my situation is going to bring light to shit that has been happening with this agency. And it's so many other cases out here. I mean, this is ridiculous. The children are who we need to be concerned about right now. The children who are in the system are the most important right now. The children who've been in the system are the ones who are pushing this shit. But we need other people, the other taxpayers that say they care about this damn country. If you care so damn much, what are you doing? When you're talking about all the shit going on with these celebrities and government, like, are you talking about the kids? I just don't get it. I'm doing my shit. I've decided that I'm going to focus on this one thing right now in the public. I'm doing some other stuff in the background as well. But in the public, for as far as what I'm putting out, it's going to be focused on this topic. Maybe my process can help somebody else, because I'm telling you, this is crazy. That people still are not hyping this the way that they should. They continue to get distracted. I can't rely on other people though. I have to do shit my way on my own. That's just how my life is set up.